It's time now for a look at the latest in local news. In the news, the Wayne County Commissioners met for their February monthly meeting Monday afternoon, and a big part of the meeting dealt with the item on the agenda, consider an approved contract for appraisal services for the tax assessor's office, as the county commissioners were asked by the Board of Assessors to hire a company called GMAS, which stands for Georgia Mass Appraisal Solutions and Services. Contract costs $570,000, as it's that time of year for the county to reassess everyone's property, something the county had done back in 2008, in which at that time a company reassessed Rayonier and other timber companies' property and overvalued the assessment, which landed the county in court, and the county lost those lawsuits to the tune of close to $4 million. At the meeting Monday, Commissioner Jamie Hickox and others wanted some policies and procedures in place, and County Attorney Andy Beaver warned that the county needs some type of liability insurance with the company in case things go bad. That way the company's on the hook and not the county. Here was County Administrator Paul Drawdy first explaining the proposal that the county's been sent by the Board of Assessors and why the Board of Assessors want to go with the company GMAS.
A lot of companies, quite a few companies out there that do just what GMAS is doing. Two reasons they want to go with GMAS is because several of the folks that work for GMAS used to work for Department of Revenue, so they know all the ins and outs and how to make sure it's correct. The second one is because they said they could start right away. The other companies that they've reached out to said, oh yeah, we'd be happy to put a bid in and get a contract with y'all, but it'll be 2 years before we can start, because it goes back to what Commissioner Hickox said. Everybody's having this problem, and those companies are already booked up with other counties trying to get this done. So that was their issue, or it was related to me by Mr. Johns, that they would like to kind of get these folks under pen and paper quickly because of that issue. The concern that if they could move on with another county now, are they going to be able to start next year versus this year?
And once again, that's the proposal presented to the county commissioners. Here was Jamie Hickox again voicing her concerns about the proposal.
We pay this thing is going to cost $570,000. That's what this mass reappraisal. If you have average $2,500, I think that's pretty much average for a homeowner having a 25. That's going to be 228 property tax bills to pay this one thing. And we've paid this one thing before in 2008. And by 11 years later, right, because it was 5 years ago, this guy shows up and he's like, this is the biggest mass mess I ever saw, and our whole maps are going to fall apart and explode. My point is, if we're going to invest $570,000 of your dollars, we have to have policies and procedures in place that when 2026 comes along, we know we're straight, that we know in 2027 we have a checklist. We know what we're doing to keep this thing, because 10 years from now, I don't want to spend 228 property bills on doing this again and letting it be somebody's. I'm saying I get more trouble for asking about policies and procedures. I am getting so much trouble over policies and procedures. But I'm dogmatic about this. If we as a county do not have policies in place, we will be back here 10 years from now doing the same thing, and that $570,000 number will be $900,000. Yeah.
Commissioner Tim Hopkins agreed with Jamie Hickox. He said the county needs to have insurances from this company. Conversation continued, and finally Chairman Mike Gordon made a motion to table the issue at this time.
I'd like to make a motion to table this, get back with the company, see if they'll enter that into the contract that'll protect us, and then bring it back to the board at a later date.
I second. And now we got comments. My only comment would be, what I would like to see is us get together and make a list of objectives we would like the Board of Assessors to do. It's not picking on anybody, it's looking out for taxpayers' money. And if they will continue, I think if we give them a strategic list of what will keep us from getting in this situation again, and we agree to have this done, I don't think there'll be a problem, because we can look at it and make sure we're getting our bang for our buck. Do you want to, can that be done separate from the contract, or do you want to do that before?
In lieu of
initiate
the contract being signed.
I know you're in a hurry for this. The only thing that really red flags me about the contract was the professional liability. If we pay somebody $500,000 and they're not going to send an expert down when we get our tail sued because of what they said this was valued out, that's wrong. I'm with you.
Or like in 2008, and I know you're next to. Like in 2008, we had a lot of appeals that came through because people didn't, isn't that right? They didn't agree with what their appraisals came back at, so that flooded them with having to readjust all of those appraisals. I think that needs to be part of it also, that we don't have to pay for that, or the tax assessor's office doesn't have to go in and redo them at our cost.
Well, a certain amount of appeals can't hold up your digest. I think it's over 9% of your total tax people. If they appeal, 9 or either 10%, until you get that number down. Because when I went to that class we're talking about, that was one of the things stuck out to me. Because with all the valuations of the houses and stuff going on, I was afraid we were going to have a lot of people appeal. They didn't. I think it was like 1.5%. But if it's over 9%, your tax digest, it's got to be addressed and get under the 9%, from my understanding.
And it takes them 3 years to do these assessments, and then they're all entered in the same year. So it's not, because that was the question I asked, can we have them enter them in 1 year and then we can see if they're in line with, or if we get a bunch of appeals, then we can say, well, hey, we need to go with a different company. Maybe that's another question we need to ask is, can we check some of those appraisals and see if they're in line or close to what we have, or what our appraiser thinks the assessor has to, after he looks at it, to see if they're in line close with what he thinks, or if he says, no, this is Atlanta's figures or something, then we can stop the contract or void the contract.
Once again, the item was tabled last night. The county again wants some assurances from this company before they enter into the contract. Again, the county attorney, Andy Beaver, suggested some liability insurance in place, so what happened in the year 2008 is not repeated. Again, we'll come back with more from the county meeting after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned. In other news from the county meeting, again, a lengthy agenda with a lot of items on the agenda, several purchases, 2 dump trucks for the road department, 2 trucks for the rec department, another truck for the fire coordinator, all approved at Monday's meeting. They approved that Anchor and Wellness oversee the funding from the opioid lawsuit. As they state, Anchor and Wellness deals with both mental illness and substance abuse and is best suited to use the money in both areas. This was discussed at their work session last week and agreed upon then and voted on and approved Monday night. They approved the Timber Ridge drainage repair. The cost $35,710, but they state the developers agreed to pitch in $15,000 of the total cost. The board approved McCall Architects for the Senior Center project. They approved $42,936 to replace the engine on the county's track hoe, and they approved the purchase of bleachers for the agricultural complex. They appointed Joyce Cernsey to the DFACS board, replacing Mark Watson, who resigned. Finally, the board voted 4-1 to move forward with their resolution for the election board. The proposal was 7-member board, with each commissioner making an appointment, and 1 appointment from the Republican Party, 1 from the Democratic Party. Commissioner Jamie Hickox voted no, saying 7 is just too many for the board. She said the county has 5 commissioners, and they have difficulty time coming to the majority. She believes 7 is just too many. The proposal now heads to the state legislature for approval. And let's look at your Monday's county commissioners meeting. City of Jesup set to meet this evening at 7 p.m. Here's a look at their agenda. Under old business, approval of SRO officers, request to amend budget to add position for the period of February through June of this year. Discussion on pool construction change order. Under new business, Albert Bennett request to put awning support post on city right-of-way. A rezoning request, Kathy Harold to rezone 1020 Bethlehem Road from R2 to C3. Boys and Girls Club fundraiser on the agenda. Discussion
Wayne
of
Drug
Commissioners
Company
Retreat.
is more than a
Also,
pharmacy.
executive session
They
with
are your
personnel,
neighbor.
items
Have
with city
been for
manager,
over
items with commissioners, items with the mayor. All that tonight at 7 p.m. at City Hall. We'll be back with some final news notes after this word from our sponsor, the commercial messages, so please stay tuned.
Great.
Final notes of the news. Wayne County voters soon will be headed to the voting booth. We'll be voting in the Georgia presidential primary, and also we'll be voting yes or no to continue the 1 cent penny. SPLOST referendum 5 on the ballot. The county is hoping to continue that 1 cent penny. A town hall meeting discussed the SPLOST 5 referendum is going to be held this coming Monday, February 12th at the auditorium of Coastal Pines Technical College. Public invited to come to the town hall event. On the program will be County Administrator Paul Andrade, along with the mayors, Jesup Mayor Ralph Hickox, Scrivener Mayor Jason Weaver, and Nota Mayor Greg Rozier. Once again, that all set for this coming Monday, February 12th from 6 to 8 p.m. at Coastal Pines Technical College Auditorium. Early voting begins Monday, February 19th, runs up until Friday, March the 8th. Early voting Monday through Friday from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. There are 2 Saturdays of early voting, Saturday, February 24th and Saturday, March 2nd. Saturday times of early voting will be from 9 to 5. All the early voting taking place at Craig Williams Rec Department at 245 East Bay Street. Last day to register to be able to vote is Monday, February the 12th at 5 p.m. Need more information on that, call the registrar's office at 912-427-5950. County Commissioners last night stated that there's a lot of misinformation about the SPLOST 5 referendum on Facebook, so the county states the correct information is on their website, waynecountygeorgia.us. They ask you to go to that website, and all that information is there. Also, they state the Chamber of Commerce has a flyer with the correct information as well. They asked that if you have any questions about the SPLOST 5 referendum, to please attend that town hall meeting this coming Monday at Coastal Pines Auditorium from 6 to 8 p.m. The Wayne County Historical Society set to meet this Thursday at Captain Joe's Seafood Restaurant. The program for the evening will be a presentation on the Ghost of Tyne Zirkle presented by Janet Royal and Mary Lou Drury with assistance from other members who visited the historic site. Meeting begins at 7 p.m. A Dutch treat meal precedes the meeting at 6. Members are reminded it's a new year, so dues are now payable. Members are encouraged and visitors are welcome to attend Thursday night's Wayne County Historical Society meeting again at Captain Joe's Restaurant. And the focus of hog hunters in Wayne County on February 16th to the 18th. Wayne County Board of Tourism's 2024 Hog Jam. Again, rules and registration on their website, waynetourism.com. Again, $50 for bow or gun hunters. Hunters can pay $100 hunt in both categories. Hunters 16 under hunt free with a registered adult hunter. All hogs must be weighed into the fairgrounds in Jesup, but participants can hunt anywhere in the state or any of the connecting states that they have legal permission to do so. Hunters must be in line, though, that Sunday for weigh-in at 12 noon or they're disqualified. That's going to do it for the latest in local news. Sports comes your way in a few minutes. Bob Morgan, have a great day.